Good morning, everybody. Let me get that straightened a little bit there. Okay, good morning. We are going on a quick drive through Gettysburg. It is a gorgeous day today. It's 73 degrees. Apparently, it's supposed to get up into the high 90s in a few days. A lot of people crying the blues, but they've been crying the blues for 2 months that it's raining. Now, I understand this is quite an extreme, but hey, it could be 96 inches of rain instead of 96 degrees, okay? Like, look at it that way. I, for one, am very happy that it won't be 60 and rainy like it's been. I've been in the office since 8 this morning. Did a little editing. Then I decided I have to go get a coffee. Cindy drove me into work today because I don't know if you watched last night's AG Today, but I had a few. And it was not wise of me to drive. So I didn't. And that's the truth of the matter there. Why can't I see comments? Where did the comments section go? I don't see any comments. Well, I just saw $10 come in. I thank you for that, whoever did it. I'm not seeing comments for some reason. And so I can't see anything. Let's see. Oh, there we go. I see it now. Phil, thank you very much for that. And we are moving along here. So I'm just going to go through. We're doing a short one here because I got to get back. I got a lot of work to do. It's getting down to the wire. Need to get those anniversary shows edited and posted. Should have grabbed a camera and gone and shot some footage for the intros, but of course I didn't. It's tough doing it all. It's tough. You forget things. Good morning, Francis. How are you? So we'll go down Seminary Avenue, and then further down Seminary Ridge, and we'll rock the Casbah. I mean, that's what we do. We're Casbah rockers over here. So that's what we're gonna do. Monica, good morning to you. Good morning to you. So I have to thank everybody for last night's show. It was a complete ambush in a good way. I was completely surprised by the whole thing. And see, the little backstory here is Cindy is the booker for AG Today. Dave does the history shows, the podcast, or the Patreon and Ask a Guides. Cindy does AG Today. And about a month ago, well, a little less than a month ago, I was at the Memorial Day parade, and Tony, our guest from last night, came up to me and we were talking, and he had emailed me years ago, but we had never actually met, I believe. We might have met once before, now that I think about it. But anyway, we were talking, and I got an idea, because he says he does magic and stuff, but I was like, well, that might be interesting. So I had him, I looked at the schedule, and I didn't see anybody booked, and I said, well, you want to come on the show? So he said, sure. So I put it on the calendar. And later, Cindy saw it on the calendar, and she's like, you know, if you want me to book the show, you got to let me know when you book somebody else. And I go, oh, you know, I didn't see anything. I didn't think it was a big deal, you know, whatever. And so little did I realize that she was plotting already an idea. And so she, I think, was afraid that was going to throw it off. So when we got in last night, you know, Cindy usually sends me the news ahead of time to print out, and there was no news. So I asked the girls, I said, do you guys have news? And then also Bethany said, Um, she said, I have to leave early tonight because Uncle's having surgery in the morning and I got to get up early or whatever, some story. And I was like, all right, fine. We'll just, and then I was like, do we have the news? And they're like, no, we don't have news. And I was like, all right, well then we'll just, we'll do a quick little thing. I have a couple clips and voicemails to play and that'll be enough. And we were finished with the guests. Eric, the door opens and Eric Dorr and Cindy walk in. And Cindy kind of like is very serious and she's like, you need to go to a break now. And, she doesn't, like, she said it like, you don't want this coming out over the air, so you need to go to break. And because Eric was there, I assumed I had left the air conditioning on or something and I was going to get evicted. So I was like, oh no. And so Eric sits down and then when we come, they don't say anything. They don't tell me what's on. Actually, there was a point where Cindy said, you have a special guest. And because Eric was in the room, I'm like, okay, who could it be that Eric brought in? And my guess was either Dale Dye was back in town, Matthew Leach was in town, or Mickey Dolenz was in town. And I said, is it Mickey Dolenz? I was very excited that it would have been Mickey Dolenz. Anyway, we start after the break, and then this cavalcade of people come in. If you haven't seen the show, go back and check it out. It's actually interesting. And there's like a whole bunch of people on the phone lines and a whole bunch of people waiting downstairs in the lobby. The girls did a great job secreting the people and keeping it a secret. I had no clue at all that this was happening. And everybody on the crew, except for me and the guest, knew this was happening. And it makes sense because everybody was kind of acting weird. Like there was like a tension. Why is there tension? We haven't done this in a month. We should all be excited and jovial. And now I understand why. Because there was a timing issue. And me having booked the guest put a wrench in the gears of their plans. Nothing against the guest. That was my fault. But I thought it went well anyway. And it was very nice. It was very touching. The people were very nice. It was great to hear from Eric, the producer. It was wonderful to see Veronica and Kathy come in. Kathy, I was always bugging her to come on the show when Veronica was on. She wouldn't want to do it. She would always just sit in the corner. But here she finally came on. And my parents called in. It was very nice. It was very, very nice. And I thank everybody for coming in. And if you actually sat through that whole show, I thank you for sitting through that whole show. Oh, there's Eric Koval. Haven't seen you in a while, Eric. Good to see you. Says, about time. It's sunny. I was in the Berg for 3 days over the weekend. Rain every day. Jesus, Eric. Thanks for telling me. God. Rich Snyder says, last night was very special. Hearing Eric, the producer, and Colby, seeing Veronica and Kathy, and hearing all the phone calls. Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, I don't know. I was anxious because I was like, oh, this is where people can start tuning out because who wants to sit through that stuff? But I was surprised. People stayed around. Rich says, just a great night to celebrate you, Matt. Happy birthday wishes again. Thank you. Then afterwards, we went to the Schmucker house and had a little repast. Sorry, not repast. Reception, what do you call it? Little get-together. And there was some food laid out, which was good because I was starving, and Court and me and Eric Houston and Tad hung around the food table, feeding our faces incessantly. And then finally got ourselves a drink and went in and mingled with everybody else in the other room. So that was very nice. It was Bo and Chris from the Gettysburg Film Commission opened up the Schmucker house because it's their office, as well as the office of the Seminary Ridge Museum folks. So thank you to them as well for allowing that. And it was just a very nice night, and I was very touched, very surprised. Okay? Thank you. Yes, next time, please do, Eric. I haven't seen you in a while. It would be nice. Last time I saw you was when we worked on that dopey-ass movie in New Jersey where the director wanted to dress more like a stereotypical director than direct. Oh, that was terrible. I think the director of that film was more interested in having his friends stop by the set to show them the catering than he was at actually producing a good film. Eric says, I still remember all them scarves. Yeah, he really, he had not only the scarves, but like a beret. Like he was full on French director. And sunglasses. Scarves, beret, sunglasses, sports coat, button down shirt, unbuttoned halfway down his chest. All he needed was a medallion hanging down off his neck. Hey, Jeremy, thank you. Happy Friday indeed. Happy Friday to us all. By the way, if you're coming to, as people have been asking about carpooling for tomorrow at Brandy Station, if you're coming for that, we will meet to carpool, or at least cavalcade down. I'll send you an email with a meeting place and a time. But we put the tour at 10:30, so we didn't have to leave at an ungodly hour to get there at 10. But we do still want to leave early. I'm going to say 8:15 at the latest. Give us time, because we're meeting at another place to further consolidate automobiles. I think Cindy and I might hang around the area, maybe drop by and introduce her to my cousins. And as far as like dinner or something or lunch goes, I don't think we have a plan for that. You're of course welcome to group up and do whatever. We might do it at the last minute. I don't know. We don't know. We just do, ladies and gentlemen. But it's a nice coming. I think it's about 17 people, which is good. It's manageable, and that should be manageable with the car situation. And we'll see. We'll see. Should be fun. Should be fun. Eric says, almost like he was a character from Tim and Eric. Awesome show. Great job. He was, he was a character. That was an interesting experience. And I apologize to you for dragging you into that. John Stewart says, love the conversation with Scott Hartwig the other day. Thank you, John. I did too. I always love talking to Scott. The other ones are good too. Jim Broomall and Zach Fry. They're going to come out. I got to finish the anniversary shows first. So once I have those finished, those will come out. And probably around the anniversary week, we'll put a lot of stuff out that week. Eric says, that was exactly it. Look at the food. Plus, look at it. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Like I remember like every time a friend of his would drop by, he'd be like, oh yeah, come in the kitchen. Come in here. Look at this layout. And it was just like, it was like cold cut platters. Like, what are you talking about? That's the sad thing about trying to break into film is you deal with a lot of people like that, and it's kind of disheartening. And yeah, it's tough. It's a lot of shitty work. Man, it is a gorgeous day. If only you could feel the air. It is only 74 degrees, but there's no humidity, or none to speak of at least. So it's very nice. Very nice. And unfortunately, we lose service down in the Valley of Death, Valley of Cell Phone Death. But we can take you here on Sickles Avenue, which is just as lovely of a view. God, it's so nice. I can't believe I gotta be sitting in an office all day. I would love to take you down past the Trossel farm, but same problem down there. So we're just going to continue this way, and I'll take you over to Culp's Hill, and then we will conclude our ride. That's right, the Confederacy fell so people can gossip about catering. That's exactly it. John Stewart said, the Confederacy fell because they had a stupid idea. John Stewart says, living down here in Tennessee, every Civil War enthusiast around me when I was growing up was deep in Lost Cause mythology, doing programs for schools teaching slavery had nothing to do with the war. Yeah. No, it's nothing at all. They were disagreeing about the air before the war, and the lead up to the war, all the fights, all the murders, all the raids and riots and bleeding Kansas. That was all about just air. They were just arguing over air. None of that. John Brown was trying to free air. No, just this thing you could feel it, but you know it's there, but you can't see it. You don't know what it is. It's just, that was it. How you doing, Michael? John says the war was about states' rights and Lincoln was a tyrant who just wanted the South for tariff revenue. Yes, that's all it was. That's all it was. It's funny how nothing really changes in our political history. That was Jim Hessler there giving a tour. Eric says the South was upset over Netflix subscription increases. I'll tell you what, that is a legitimate reason to go to war with oneself. Michael says Netflix is not that good anymore. That is true. It is not that good anymore. All of Hollywood is not that good anymore. There's really not anything good coming out. They've lost it. But what's more is they don't care that they lost it. It's like the royal families of Europe. There's enough inbreeding in Hollywood now. By now, you're getting to those generations where the originality, all the things that made Hollywood roar in its golden era are gone. You're down to the great grandchildren now, and by the time you get to the grandchildren, typically a inherited business is pretty much toast. But by the great-grandchildren, it's just, it's what you get when siblings mate. That's what it is. Clorox says, states' rights until the political party founded by Lincoln, but against his side in the war, enters the federal government. What? Bill says, I was in Gettysburg last weekend and was hoping I could get to meet Matt 2 years in a row and still no lucker. Well, were you at CWI? Because if you were at CWI, there were plenty of times to come up and say hi, but you could always come up to the room. You're not interrupting if you come up to the room that we're in. I was talking with Ashley and some of the team from CWI a couple days ago. And I said, I think I need to do something different next year. The interviews, they're fun, they're good and everything, but I think what we need to do is do a documentary about CWI. And I have enough cameras, I have enough people. We can go and, capture everything that's going on and make a documentary about it. And I think that's what we're going to do. They like that idea. They had one that was done years ago with Pete in it, and there was something about it that Pete didn't like, and he kept wanting to do another one. And now, like Ashley was saying, now obviously we need to do another one. And so I was like, well, let me do it then. We'll do it. We'll show everybody. Let's show, not tell. Let's show everybody what CWI is like. So I think that's what we're going to do. We've got a year to prepare for that. Van Cornish says, speaking of Hollywood and movies, Jaws 50th anniversary is today. Do you remember your first time watching Jaws, Matt? I don't know if it was my first time, but I remember watching it as a kid. I had to be maybe 10, 11, somewhere around there. And of course, I watched it a week before we went to the Jersey Shore. So I was a little bit afraid to go in the water unless it was low tide. Because the beach we went to, when it was low tide, it was up to your ankles for like 150 yards. And then it got a little deeper up to your knees. But it took quite a while for it to get anywhere that a shark could go. I mean, I guess a shark could go up to your knees, but as a kid, I didn't know. So, I was afraid to go in the water, which apparently everybody else was when they first saw it. But those were adults. Eric says, up on Big Round Top now, heading back to the parking area. Van says, so did you get in the water? Nope, I did not. There you go. Snooki was not there. Snooki wasn't even born when or she might have been born, but she was a baby. I don't know. How old is that monster? John Stewart says, saw Richard Dreyfuss at convention one time. The guy was a huge Civil War buff. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's one of my dream interviews, which I'll never get. Van says, art imitating life, imitating art. John Stewart said he's a big fan of George Henry Thomas. Bill says, I remember being afraid of being in a pool right after watching Jaws, let alone the beach. Eric says, getting ready to head out of town. Take care. You too, Eric. Have a safe trip. Thanks for coming out. Tell Missy I said hello and thank you as well. And Michael says, stupid show. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. You know, I find being stupid on purpose is fun. And so I'm glad you find it to be a stupid show. All right, this person is, my inner Jersey is starting to come up here. Oh, not me, MTV. Oh, gotcha. Thank you. Yes. Well, that too. That too. Oh, God. Like, move out of the way, you know? Thank you. So we are in Spangler's Meadow. And we are gonna, let's see, which way should I go? Let's go, I'm gonna take you through Party Fields. On a nice sunny day like this, you want as many wide open spaces as opposed to the darkness of the woods. Although it's not that dark going up the woods, but you'll see, we'll still go up through there. Bill says, I send my wife into the water before me. Safety first is my motto. Well, I guess your wife's name is Safety. Like a food taster for a king, right? Have them make sure the food's not poisoned. I get it. Michael says, busy next week. NANV weekend coming up. Was that Army of Northern Virginia weekend? All right, we'll go this way past the Geary statue. I notice a lot of the statues, the bronze statues, are starting to show signs of, what's the word? Withering? Neglect could be another word. Like the Valley of Death, for example. Good morning, Dustin. How are you? Yeah, a bit late to the party, but better late than never. Better late than never. All right, there's a large group of scouts to my right, and I don't want to wait for them to get the hint that they shouldn't be walking in the middle of the road. So I'm going to just go this way. Plus, I got to get to work, so we'll do that. We'll head back. This is Stevens Knoll up here, named for Stevens Battery, which was on it, fired into the Confederates. Lovely day for them. And we're coming up over East Cemetery Hill into town on Baltimore Street. Kevin says, terrific birthday tribute show last night. Cindy did a wonderful job coordinating it. She really did, Kevin. She really did. And it would completely caught me by surprise, so that was nice. I wasn't sure I don't know if you noticed, I kept trying to like, at first, especially the slideshow, I was trying to like get out of it and move it along because I thought the audience would be like, I don't want to watch this. But then I realized I didn't have much choice in the matter. So I laid back and let it happen. All right, and we are arriving at AGHQ, which is, of course, here, and that is it. Oh, yeah, cam calling was good. That was good. That was good. He and it still took him a while to say happy birthday. He wanted to call and talk about himself, which was classic Cam. I mean, that's what Cam does, and that's why we love Cam. But I think, who knows, I might convince him to come back on the show. I think he's realized that since he's refused to come on, the attention, the love might not be as ubiquitous as it once was. And he realizes now that it was because he was on AG that people knew his name. And it's okay. Everybody's welcome back. Almost everybody. Okay. So I'm going to go in and get some work done today. If you're a patron, I'll do a live stream so that I can be more productive and body double, as they call it. And you guys have a great, great day. Oh, that's a good question, Wonder Monkey. Sorry, I just was reading. A late night thunderstorm cruise when practicable. I almost did one yesterday, but I missed it. Like, it was pouring. I went inside, got a couple of things, like closed up a couple things in the office. And I'm like, let me do a quick drive because it was coming down in buckets. And I was like, this will be cool. Like, the sky looked really nasty and it was coming down. But by the time I got out there, it had passed. And I caught the tail end of it when I noticed it because I was kind of sequestered. So I didn't realize it until I came out to get a breath of fresh air. And it was just water coming down. But I will do that because we're going to get more for sure. So we will do that. All right. You guys have a great one.